Hi, fourth grade. How's it going? I always wait a few seconds at the beginning of the video because I've noticed for whatever reason, when I'm doing these videos on my Zoom on my computer, it doesn't pick up the audio in the first few seconds anyway. So last week when we were live together, we learned about non-objective art. Non-objective art is a form of abstract art where there isn't something recognizable in the artwork. So remember, abstract art, art that is not realistic. Non-objective art, a form of that, where you just use the elements of art, shape, line, color, texture, things like that. The way the artist just uses those elements, brings them together in an interesting looking way to make a piece of artwork. Now, if you were gone last week, what you need to do right now is go to my Canvas page. I'm going to show you exactly what you should do. So you can go to my Canvas page, and on my Canvas page is in the modules here. So you're going to click modules on the left-hand side here. And I've got instructions for what you should do. Okay, so if you were gone and you were like, I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Bremer, all I want you to do for right now is go ahead and click this page right here. When you're here, you're going to follow these instructions step by step. So you need to read through them. You're going to draw each instruction on your page where you think it will look good. You're going to use oil pastel or crayons, okay? As many colors or as few colors as you want. So there's no right or wrong answer. I don't tell you how big to draw things. I don't tell you how small to draw things. Just follow along and make sure you do every single step. Everybody that was here last week, they already did that step. So they have a finished work. So if you were gone, you need to take about 15, 20 minutes to go do this part first. Then come back to the video and watch the next step. Those of you that were here last week, you've already done that. Okay, so let's watch what you should do now. So I'm going to take my artwork. I did this. These are I did this 3 times, so this may not look exactly like the one you saw in class, or it may be the one you saw because I chose yours. If you wanted to, if you're looking at yours and you're like, gosh, there's some spots on this that need more work, you know, you can add additional things if you wanted to. You could also decide, you know what, I'm already done with this. I don't need anything else. But you could decide, gosh, there's some area on my picture over here that just needs something. And so maybe you do that, okay? So you can do that with your crayons first. Then what you're going to need today is you're going to need to go ahead and grab yourself a little cup of water and your watercolor paints. So pause the video, go get that stuff in. Now, if you don't have watercolor paints, what I want you to do is grab your Crayola markers, water, and some Q-tips. Okay? If you don't have Q-tips, grab a paper towel. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. So if you don't have those things, go ahead and pause the video and go get those things, and then come back here. Okay, so today you're going to paint this, and you're going to use whatever colors you want to. Okay, so there's not going to be any rules for painting. You're just going to paint what you think will look interesting. As you paint, just kind of think about areas of your picture where you need certain colors. So if I start with green, I like green, so I'm going to start over here. Now remember, what's nice about crayon is crayon kind of keeps your paint in one place. It kind of makes like little walls for your paint. You can certainly paint over the crayon, but the crayon or oil pastel will sort of lock in some of those spots for you, okay? You can just go ahead and paint like normal if you want to, or you could use some of those techniques we've used before, like wet on wet, where you start with just some water and then bring in some paint like so. Let that sort of spread around. Remember, what's nice about that is that you can bring in a second color of paint and they will kind of swirl together on the paper. And you can get that sort of cloudy watercolor look. It looks pretty cool, okay? So just go ahead and start painting however you want to paint, okay? This is totally up to you. Just go ahead and get to work painting this thing. Now, if you don't have paint, I talked about not having paint. If you don't have paint, then what you can do is you can just start coloring with markers, okay? So I'm going to just start coloring over here with my red. I'm going to add in a little bit of this purple. I'm going to let these mix a little bit. Let's start with that. Okay. And then I told you to get some Q-tips. So if you wet your Q-tip, okay, so just put this in some water, you can make your marker turn into paint. Pretty cool, right? So you might want to end up having a few Q-tips so that you can kind of do some for your reds, some for your darker colors, your greens, your blues, things like that. But you can also, just like we did before, let these colors kind of mix together. I don't know if I actually should have put green there, maybe blue would have been better. That's red. So this might get a little bit brown on me. I did that with, honestly, I didn't think very hard before I put that in there. So let's switch Q-tips here. Let's just on there. Actually, that looks pretty good. And guess what? Look, it looks like a painting. All right. It looks like a painting. And that is the whole goal of this. Okay. So do a little bit of coloring, a little bit of wet, a little bit of coloring, a little bit of wet. If you don't have Q-tips, okay, you can just take a paper towel, like scrunch up a little bit of paper towel, get it a little bit wet, and spread around that marker there too. So how much should you work